I think you touched on an interesting point when you said that when you get dressed up, you have an attitude because you're ready to take shit. But I think that's one reason that drag queens are creative, is that, maybe they're not happy with what the raw ingredients are, and they want to ornament them, and they're not really going to accept reality, whether they go really, really far, like Amanda Lepore. So they're creating something based on their vision of themselves, how they want to appear.
I think what Bunny said earlier is true. You start with, I don't like the way I look, I want to change the way I look, I don't like my hair, I don't like my body. And through drag and makeup, the power of transformation of drag is incredible. And once you get to grips with that, and you find out what you can do and what you can get by doing that, it becomes kind of like a disease, really.
Amanda Lepore, for example, it made me think about how trend-setting drag culture is, because today so much of people are doing cosmetic surgery and transforming themselves, men and women. That's become.
Has Amanda had surgery?
But also, I think one of the important things about Amanda is that you have to remember every bone in her body has been broken by a hammer. The beauty that she has been hard earned. That's not something that was done, without immense pain. Yes. So when I look at someone like Amanda, I have utter admiration for her, because I'd never do it. And I could never go through that pain. And I look at her and, when people say things about Amanda, I say, that was hard. She's a construction worker. Most kind of builders couldn't suffer that type of pain that she's gone through. So she's incredible.
To me, she looks like a really beautiful goldfish.
At least it's fish.
On Monday night, I was at Royal Bitches, and Amanda was having a missile's breast sucked by the most beautiful Egyptian boy, and I was like, go girl.
Well, I guess, you need the payoff for all that work, right?
Oh, she gets paid off, don't worry.
Also, it seems like a part of...
I saw her outside the slide in a nurse's outfit with a clipboard saying, "Are you ready to sign up for PE? Penis elimination." I signed up.
A lot of times drag has been desexualized, even though a drag queen, part of the shtick is often very sexual, and like fucking with gender and fucking with innuendo and double entendre and all that. But there was a weird sense of like gay guys not really being into guys in drag, and it was kind of a turn-off.
Straight men are into guys in drag.
Yeah, it was a train chaser thing. It was an Eddie Murphy thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Shit, he's here tonight.
Eddie's waiting for you in room 4.
I think in the straight world,
it was sexual.
There was something about, because if you're wearing eyeliner and you're on your knees, and you've got eyes like a girl, it makes a whole lot of difference, And I'm sorry to...
Or if you have a bag over your head, it helps too, I found.
One of the things I think that helped make drag cool over this period of time is gender studies, that sort of became very popular in the academy, where people were, the whole idea of gender and roles became like a subject of debate and discussion in the academy. Is that ever...
Didn't make it to the academy.
Murray Hill, as far as the women, how do they respond in that community to your role, what you do?
I can imagine you leading the country. I don't know why, but I can imagine you as president.
You ran for mayor.
I did start my drag career running for mayor of New York in 1996. And, some of my finest career moments is if I'm at the Cock really late in one of these bars and everybody's in the bathroom doing coke and I'm in line and waiting in line to go to the bathroom, and then some kid, gay kid, "I voted for you, Murray." And I'm like, shit, I should have ran for president. But what's your question? I do get a lot of ladies, but I don't think that was...
comments, negative comments from women, lesbian...
Well, I think it's Well, that's an interesting question. The straight women go nuts over Murray, and girls, I'll talk to you after the show. And but there has been sometimes my toughest shows are in front of an all lesbian crowd because the humor doesn't always translate. They actually think I'm an offensive white guy, and they don't see the irony. So it's this weird, but it's this. I'm not offensive, right, kids? Come on. Anybody out there? Hello. But it's a very different experience than going to see a campy, drag queen show where it is a safe thing. But with the drag queens, it's not as campy. It's a little bit more about passing and actually trying to be a guy than kind of making fun of it. So it's a very different thing. So when you're in a crowd of lesbians this is a generalization, that already, feel like they're missing out, they're already discriminated, they're already this, they don't have the entertainment, they don't have the visibility. So I come out here, very strong personality, much like Bunny. I take a lot of inspiration from Bunny's act. And, they're just like, ugh, God.
Don't blame me, honey.
But, I think I'm one of the more campy drag kings, but a lot of them it's mostly about gender politics. And it's more performance art. Like you're going to watch a lecture or something. It's not a lot, it's not humor based like
but I think also, there's this idea, that, like, if, gay marriage was legal, then the whole sexuality, things like that would solve the sexual problem. It's a constantly changing thing. The fact that you've got performers like Murray, and you didn't have them 10 years ago, the fact that there weren't performers like Bunny 10 years ago, we're constantly re-looking at ourselves, changing what we do. It's a work in progress. There's never, and I think we have to just accept that buggery will never be tolerated.
The big stand-up rule. Sorry, you have to accept this,
Particularly in America, but all over the world, the big standoff, when it comes down to it, is cocks up bottoms.
Oh.
And I'm sorry, it's never going to be tolerated, unless we go back to the Roman age.
Let's go.
Clearly, gay people are still easy targets, and it's still cool to be offensive and to threaten us, and that's why, confrontational drag and uncompromising trannies, terrorism is so fucking important.
All right, well, on those final words, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for the Hedwig man, everybody, Michael Musto, Boy George, Black Time, Mitchell, Mary Wall.
That blew me away because it was just like it was seamless. It was like, you got it right. You got it right. It was like.